It's the Sean Widmer Podcast. It's a journal by someone that just really doesn't like to write.
Welcome to the podcast. I don't know what happened to the last one, Super Bowl podcast. The video didn't work. I was bummed out about it. I had all my Super Bowl, my Seahawks gear on. I had my chain on. I was all excited about. I had all the gear. I had all the gear on. I had my Sam Darnold t-shirt, everything, and the video didn't work. So sorry if you were looking for the video or if you missed the fact there was a podcast Monday because you just watch on YouTube. The video didn't work. But we should be back today. I hope it works today. Today, I've got a couple things we need to talk about. Milton Bradley. What? Why? Was there a reason? Let's talk about an old classic game and where we are in 2026 with a classic. Okay? We've got a thing I tried to do that I need to speak of. And then my Keller's What Are You Into is going to be something that I love to do, but a story with it, because I might have finally bit off more than I can chew in the world of basketball. We will get to that on today's podcast, the Sean Widmer Podcast. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate everyone who interacts with the show, whether that's over on YouTube, on Spotify, over at seanslife.com, or you text me. It means the world to me. Thank you. We are still Bros Knows podcast-less. So today's episode is not brought to you by the Bros Knows podcast unofficially because he's not doing his podcast. So we'll give it to the Miles Fafcast as the unofficial sponsor of today's podcast. Okay, let's discuss some things. The ice is melting in Lexington, and it is the most wonderful feeling. We were stuck in this city under ice for 2 weeks. In fact, there's the Fayette County. I live in Fayette County, and I think it's Fayette County schools. 2 weeks they've been off of school. 2 weeks. And yesterday, Monday, I'm recording this late Tuesday night. Monday was their last day off, and then they had a late start today. 2 weeks of school off because of this ice, because they couldn't plow it when it was coming down. They just totally forgot, overlooked it, told the world that this ice storm, this snowstorm was coming, and then just didn't tell the people who plow the streets. For that one group of people didn't know, which was very unfortunate because we really could have used them. So anyhow, the snow is now, or the ice is melting, got some 50-degree days, maybe trickling into the 60s. This stuff is gone. It's wet out, but who cares? It is starting to melt, and it is wonderful. So spirits are up in Lexington. Seahawks are Super Bowl champs. I'm trying to figure out if I'm in love with Sam Darnold or not. There's a lot of guys in the team I'm in love with. I want to be totally in love with Sam Darnold. I think I am. I think I am. I'm trying to figure it out. Is he? I think he loves being a Seahawk. I think he loves winning a Super Bowl. This guy has a little bit of the robotic tendencies of Russell Wilson, just not as cheesy. He's just not. There's not a lot of emotion shown, and so I want him to come out. For whatever you think of Russell Wilson, I think he's a Ring of Honor guy. He won the Seahawks a Super Bowl, took us to a second one. But he didn't win the second. I understand, but he won the first. But the defense won the first. So did Russell Wilson. Did you watch? I hate to have to defend Russell Wilson to Seahawks fans because it shows the neglect they had in the Super Bowl winning season, because there's this long-standing commentary, because some people just turned on Russell Wilson and hate his guts. There's this long-standing commentary that it was only the Seahawks defense was the only reason they won their first Super Bowl. Maybe we didn't watch enough games that season. The defense was awesome. Legion of Boom is one of my favorite sports things ever. They obviously were the reason the Seahawks won the actual Super Bowl game. But to get there, there's a whole lot of Russell Wilson involved. There's a lot of Marshawn. There's a whole lot of Russell Wilson. There's a lot of Doug Baldwin, right? There is. So it's not just this whole, it's just the defense. Look, Russ was the man. Russ was great. And when those first couple seasons there, when he was doing the magical stuff, you really can't deny it. So I love Russ. He got real cheesy, and then he wasn't that great towards the end, but he's a Ring of Honor guy in my opinion. I think I hope 3 is considered a Seahawk for life. I think he's great. He won us our first Super Bowl. He's the quarterback for the first Super Bowl winning team. That's a huge deal. This is not a sports podcast. This is not a Super Bowl edition. I need to talk about board games, the ice melting. I need to talk about something with basketball that's not sports related, but I do need to close the book apparently on the Seahawks stuff because I love it so much. So Russell Wilson was cheesy and all that, but you never felt like he hated being a Seahawk until maybe late when he was time to go, when everyone had just decided to dunk on him and all the players turned on him and they hated him. But for a while there, he was just like Russell Wilson was saying, go Hawks, and he liked being in Seattle, and I kind of loved that cheesiness to an extent. And it's almost like I need a Sam Darnold Seahawks thing. Like I need him to say something about, and maybe I've just missed the interview where he's like, Seahawks are the best. Or some kind of catchphrase. I don't know if I need the catchphrase again. I want to love Sam Darnold. I got the t-shirt. You didn't get to see it on Monday's podcast. I love him. I don't know what it's just that I want him to win more Super Bowls. So I want to hear him say, I'm great, and I'm going to be here for a while, and I'm going to win a lot of Super Bowls in Seattle. Is that too much to ask, Sam Darnold? That you just come out and say, I'm about to win 50 more Super Bowls? Because it's really fun to win them. Anyways, okay. I'm very happy about the Super Bowl still, everyone. I just am. The ice is melting. The Seahawks are winning the Super Bowl. It's great. Things are good here. Now, what is not good? Well, I tried something tonight that was probably not the smartest thing. And I don't know when the last time you tried this is or what your age is. But my kids were playing. We were playing down in the living room. And all of a sudden Huck was just cruising around, and he's running and he's jumping and he's sweating, and he's got that boy hair that's kind of like just glued to his forehead, and he's just flush because he's just sweating so hard. He's down to his underwear. Olivia's laughing at him because he's going nuts and he's just losing his mind, right? So all of a sudden he tries this movie learning karate, which is like it's kind of a cartwheel, but it's also a handspring. So he like goes like he's going to do a cartwheel, and then he kicks his legs over. And he did it the first time, and he looked up to Olivia and me like, well, go ahead, cheer. What? Go ahead. I'm here, standing, staring at you. Cheer. Let's hear it. Ladies and gentlemen, that just happened in front of you. So we did. We cheered, and he was like, yeah. So he kept doing it. Then Olivia was like, I can do a cartwheel, and she tried her cartwheel, and it wasn't terrible. It wasn't great. It's just a little kid cartwheel. And then the question was asked, because Huck had been doing his, Olivia's doing her cartwheels, and of course, Dad, your turn. And I said, you know what, kids, it is. It is this 44-year-old man's turn to get in the mix and bust out a cartwheel. When was the last time you tried a cartwheel? Ladies and gentlemen, if that is not something you have done on the regular, I highly recommend against it. It seems like it's going to be very easy to succeed at attempting a cartwheel. Now, I don't think I'm going to land it. It all makes sense in my head, right? The mathematics of how this should work makes sense in my head. The physics works. And I got to the point where I started to bend over to put my hands, and that was the moment, my hands on the ground, excuse me. And that was the moment I realized we've done a terrible thing. What am I doing? So now I'm in a very compromisingly awkward position where I'm not flexible enough to get my hands to the ground fluid. So all the physics that I've thought of in my head, they're out the window. And now I'm just trying to figure out what I'm going to possibly do to get my feet off the ground and over my body in any kind of way that my kids are like, yeah, you earned applause. And I go ahead, I hit the ground, I try to lift my feet. My whole body is bent. My knees are bent up to my chin. I look like a cannonball rolling over top of my hands. I can hardly hold my weight up with my hands, breaking because I didn't bend far enough and my arms aren't straight. And I barely got over the top and kind of landed on my feet, but I kind of just like turned it into a halfway up and just kind of pushed my feet out and landed on them. And I looked up for the same applause that the kids had been getting. And Huck looked me dead in the eyes. And I always call him Sensei Huck because he does martial arts and this is where he learns it. And he looks me dead in the eyes and goes, Dad, you are not a sensei. I said, you're right, buddy. You're right. And right now, the thing I am is thankful that my body is in one piece. Because when my hands hit the ground, I realized we were in a bad spot. And I'm thankful for where we're at. So as much as I think I got it, I don't. But what, of course, does that mean? All I can think about now was, well, it was probably because I was indoors. Probably I was thinking tight quarters. The second I can get outside, I'm going to try another one. Why would I do that? But that's how my brain works. I know because I just tried it, failed, understanding that nothing was working. And instead of my brain going, hey, Sean, 44-year-old you is not going to try a cartwheel. It's not worth it. Instead, my brain goes, tight corners or tight spaces? Was the couch in the way? Were you worried about maybe going too far and kicking a lamp or something? Probably. You've got this. Just you got to do it outside. And I know me well enough right now, even saying this, where I know I shouldn't do it. The second I get outside tomorrow, I'm going to try a cartwheel, without a doubt. And I'm going to come back on the podcast Friday with something broken, and we're going to talk about it. Okay, before we get to Kelly's What Are You Into, a basketball story that's not necessarily what I'm into. It's just something happened at basketball. We need to talk to Milton Bradley because I don't know what happened here. My son is in love with games right now. He loves them. This is the greatest development of any of my children ever. Like so far in their lives, Olivia, all the magic that she's provided our family, Woodsy with everything he's done, how fun he is, how cute he is, his love of throwing baseball, basketball, football around that I love, just the joy he brings, his goofiness. Huck with all of his love for cars and his over-the-top excitement about things. He's just great. The greatest development in our house was Huck starting to love board games. So they're one of my favorite things in the world. I love board games. So Huck starting to ask to play them all the time and play them by the rules. I'm in. I'm always saying yes. If he asks to play a game, I'm saying yes. Well, right now, Candyland is the game he's most comfortable with. It makes sense. That game is very easy and made for a child to understand. You've got a board with colors on it, colored spaces. You draw a card. You either go one of that color or two of that color around the board, and then you've got your special spots that you draw the card and go there. It's very easy. And I don't know what happened, Milton Bradley, but you made a very simple game. Candyland. Extremely simple. Back in, I believe it was, I need to look at this because I want to say it was 1984, but now I want to get it right. Oh, it's way earlier than that. Holy cow. 1949, okay, is when this game was made. 1949. Now, the version that I fell in love with, and I'm assuming a lot of us fell in love with, is from the 80s. Okay, let me look up the 1949 board real quick. Candyland board. Okay, there we go. 1949 Candyland board. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's just a beautiful board. The 1949 Candyland board looks awesome. And you've got the board that wanders around, and the 1949 board has candy hearts. It has peppermint stick forest. It has gingerbread plum tree, gumdrop mountains, crooked old peanut brittle house. It's got lollipop woods. It's got molasses swamp. It's got ice cream floats, and it's got the board. So this is the original. Now, I'd never seen that one before until just now. But the one I think a lot of us grew up playing is from the 80s. And I think if you type in 84 Candyland board, I think that's, 1984 Candyland board. This is the one we all know. Okay. And it's just a classic Candyland board. It's great. This game is so simple. And on this board, you've got Plumpy and the little plum guy, Plumpy, with the plum logo. You got Mr. Mint in the Peppermint Forest. You've got Gumdrop Mountains with Jolly, and you got a little gumdrop. You've got the Licorice Castle with Lord Licorice there. You've got the Peanut Brittle House. Okay, you've got the Lollipop Woods. You've got Queen Frostine. You've got the Lollipop Gal. Like you've got all the you've just got. It's just a great board. Okay, you also have the Rainbow Path that you can go on. It's a classic board, right? It's a classic board. Somehow, in the last 30, 40 years, Milton Bradley was like, you know what? Candyland is too advanced. We need to make it more simple. They ripped a bunch of stuff out of the new Candyland. They ripped out the names of the characters, which is so fun because I looked them up and told my kids, and they love the game way more now that I've told them that's Queen Frostine, that's Princess Lolly, that's Lord Licorice. We don't even have the molasses guy anymore. The gumdrop guy is gone. I think it's Molly or something like that, the gumdrop. The Plumpy, little green gremlin by the plum tree, he's gone. They took them out. So there used to be 6 special spaces. Now there's 4. We've got way too into Candyland right now. How in the world did you, Milton Bradley, take a game that is beyond simple and basic and think, you know what we need to do? Dumb it down even more. It is a major fail. So I was like, well, I've got to get the original Candyland. I've got to get back to the board that made me love games, as a kid, because Huck loves Candyland. Let's get the real board, make these games official, and have a lot more fun. $45 for the old 1984 Milton Bradley Candyland board game. And then it also has on this $45, incomplete and worn. And by worn, it looks like they drug this Candyland game behind a truck. It is awful. It looks like I had this Candyland game attached to the front end of my truck when I got in my car wreck. That's what it looks like. And it's selling for $45. You cannot buy these old 84 Candyland games for under $35-$40. So instead, I'm out here playing this rinky-dink, lame-o 2020s version of Candyland that sucks, honestly, compared to what I was given. So Milton Bradley, we got to get back to the good. We just got to get back to it. I just ranted about Candyland for 5 minutes. Is that right? Sorry, everyone. I'm mad about it.
Kelly's, what are you into?
Something happened at basketball. So in September, the end of September, basketball came to a close. We'd been playing Monday Night Basketball since I moved to Lexington. One of the first weeks I was here, my sister-in-law got me connected with a guy who knew a little bit of basketball in town, got me in a Monday night run. Great group of guys. Met a lot of people who I really got along with. Good friends. I'm not good friends, but friends. I would say they're friends. I could text any of them, and they would be like, yeah, let's hang out. So it's been really fun. So we did this for 2 years. Mike moved to Lexington, and he got involved. So Mike and I got to keep playing hoops together. Well, in September, it came to a close. We've lost the gym. We've lost access to the gym, and the group text ended, and basketball was done. And that was the last time I played basketball until last night when I got to play again. But there's a story with that because I was at a daddy-daughter dance, and I'm standing there, and this guy who played basketball with us on this Monday night run, when it was still going, Andrew came up to me, and he was like, what's up, dude? I'm super excited to see him. I'm like, how's it going? I'm like, are you still hooping? He goes, yeah, dude, where have you been? I said, Andrew, what do you mean, where have I been? What do you mean? Where have you been? He's like, I go, where are you playing? He goes, I'm playing the same place Monday nights. I said, Andrew, what? You've been playing where? You've been playing where, when? On Monday nights? The game I was told was defunct. And that's when it hit me. One of two things that happened. Now, we pay to rent the gym on Monday nights. So the guy who rents it, you give him like $7. $7 at the end of the night. And that's your entry fee to play on Monday nights. So, you got to pay a little bit to play. It's not a free gym, but it's indoors and it's great. And I had missed a couple weeks. I went back and looked because I was like, okay. I immediately text my buddy TJ. I text my buddy Josh. I'm like, you guys still playing Monday night? Because these two guys, TJ and Josh, I moved here. I thought these are two guys I can make like potentially lasting friendships with as I'm a new person in a new city. I'm excited about this. Let's make some lasting friendships. These guys were playing on Monday nights. They never even text and were like, hey, dude, you need to get back here. They were just like, you're out. You're done. So I text them. I'm like, you guys been playing Monday nights, and put their feet to the fire because they're two honest humans. And finally, TJ was like, yeah, dude, we're playing Monday nights. I think you didn't pay, and so you didn't get in. The invite now just goes personal. It's on your personal cell phone, and it's not a group text anymore. And so there's that. And I'm like, okay, well, hang on. So I went back, I looked, and I'm like, I see a lot of payments here to John. Like it was like I was missing millions, but I did miss like a couple in a row right at the end before he was like, hey, no one's paying me. So fair. There might have been a lot of people not paying him, and I got into that. But I think there is an underlying thing here because I like to talk when I play basketball. And one thing I do is if you aren't passing the basketball around, and you don't make a lot of shots, I'll be there for the betterment of the court to remind you that there are 4 other guys on your team who haven't even had an opportunity to miss as many shots as you. And there was a couple guys back in September that were sort of driving me crazy because if you passed them the ball, it was we're talking legendary black holes, legendary ball stoppers on a level that I just couldn't even believe. Mike and I counted one time. There was a guy, 3 games were played, and he got a lot of touches. He didn't pass the ball one time in 3 games, which is just insane. Because it's not like the games are ending quickly. We're not good enough to get to 18 points in 6 possessions and the game's done. These games can last 20, 25 minutes. So everyone's, you're going to touch the ball enough. This guy, he would also come down and grab it at point guard and dribble down and do the wildest shots. From 50 feet out, from in the key, it was just insane. So I had to make sure people knew that this was not happening. We also had a run of guys who came through who were kind of punks, and they, a lot of language, a lot of talking trash to the guys that I'd kind of befriended, and I felt it was my job as gatekeeper to the Monday night run that I didn't start or control to be like, yeah, we're not going to do that. You're not going to make fun of the guys who are playing here, and you're not going to talk trash to them, and they're not going to say anything because they're all nice guys. I will. So I think for the first time in my illustrious basketball career, my mouth finally got me kicked out of a game. So for all of you who have played with me, who have wondered forever, Sean, one time I got punched in the face. One time. I was in high school. I got punched in the face on a free throw, and if you look at my nose, it's all crooked and big. It's from that. In the gym in Rubio, Venezuela. I will never forget it. The guy just clocked me. But I had been talking, I'd been pushing, I'd been pulling jerseys, and it was coming. But since then, nothing's happened, right? But there's been so many times. You ask Darnay, ask Mike, ask Marcus, ask Matt, ask anyone who played it peaceful. Ask Johnny Drez, ask Andy. Andy almost had to kick me out of his Airway Heights League because he didn't like that I stepped to a guy who said N1 on every single play that existed in basketball, and I was like, bro, that's not how you're wrong. You're wrong. It's not N1. It doesn't make sense in this game the way that's being refereed. Anyways, everyone's wondered, and now it finally happened. It took this long, but I think I got kicked out of a basketball run because of my mouth. So all of you who have hated it, all of you who have given me a hard time about it, it happened. I missed basketball for 4 months. And I had to grovel, just so you all know, all of you haters out there who do not like playing basketball with me or knew it was coming, I had to grovel back in. I walked right in. I looked at John, who's a great dude, who sets this all up, and is a very nice human being who I can tell doesn't need any knuckleheadedness in his run. He's not looking for that. He's looking to just go play basketball. I was probably a little bit of a cancer to his game. That could be. Now, it could be that I didn't pay for a couple weeks. But I like to dig a little deeper and think this. So I groveled back in. I didn't even say hi to anyone. All those people were like, oh my gosh, you guys are back. Like Mike and I walked in and people were excited to see us. I don't think they realized what was going on, that we hadn't got the text. I think they just thought we were avoiding them. And I had to look John right in the eyes and be like, dude, I'm begging back in. Just had to swallow my pride. I had to drop I'm sorry for whatever happened. I'm begging back in. And he was cool with it, mainly because I was standing 2 feet in front of him and I don't think he could do anything otherwise. We'll see if next week I get invited back. But as it stood, I played hoops last night, and it's still my favorite thing in the world to do, and I still gave some guys buckets. I blocked a couple shots, I got a couple rebounds, and then after 3 or 4 games, I couldn't move. And I became one of the biggest liabilities on the court for my last 3 games. Just a liability. I can't defend anyways, but couldn't defend even more. And I just couldn't. I was getting up and down the court was like, it felt impossible. So there you go. To all my haters, it happened. I got kicked out of a game for 6 months, 4, 5, 6 months, however long it is from September till today. So it's most of September, October, November, December, January. Yeah, 6 months. Look at that, guys. Still got it. Take that, math heads. Take that, math nerds. I don't even need my TI-83 to do that kind of math. Whew. All right. Thanks for checking out the podcast. Do we have comments? Do we get the comments? Jones. Dylan said this over on Spotify. Dylan said that moment after the game, watching McDonald. Oh, dude, Dylan, I've watched it. I mentioned I watched it a lot. When Monday I mentioned I watched it a lot. I have watched Mike McDonald taking in his win. I've watched it infinity times. And there's a greater video that goes further back, and it shows him on the sideline, and it makes the moment even better because he's looking at the assistant coaches, and he's like, we just tackled him. I think that's what the quote is, like, we just tackled him. And he realizes when the Seahawks tackled the Patriot guy at the end of the game, the clock was going to expire, and he's like, we just tackled him. We just tackled him. And then he's like, the realization hits, and he goes, we won the game. We just won the Super Bowl. And he goes to someone else, and he's like, we just won the Super Bowl. And that's how that moment starts. Then he goes out, handshakes Mike Vrabel, and looks up and watches the confetti and takes in the moment. And it is some of the most real, genuine joy from someone who worked so hard at something. Anyways, Dylan said, that moment after the game, watching McDonald made me tear up thinking about it, and it still does. I was super impressed with how humble our players acted after the game. Shows a true testament of how great they are on and off the field. I totally agree. The Ernest Jones story is the best one still. Puka Nacua, stupid, dumb, and drunk on the game. Stupid, dumb, and drunk Puka Nacua. I dislike Puka Nacua because he is a thorn in the Seahawks side. He is a problem. He tweeted something negative towards Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold threw a bad pass. He did the smiley face, laughy face Sam Darnold. And Ernest Jones hit him back with, aren't you at home? Oh, Puka boy. It was great. It was great. So I loved that. I loved that one of the big defensive guys it was like, no one gets to talk crap about Sam Darnold. He won a Super Bowl, except for me at the beginning of the podcast. But I wasn't trying to talk crap. I want him to come out and tell me he's about to win many more and that he's a Seahawk for life, and I can just really buy in, and I can get a jersey. Thomas says this. Oh, no, never mind. Thomas is a spam bot over on Sean'sLife.com. Let me see. Imagine showing up first when someone searches your product or service. Yeah, Thomas, get me up in the SEO. Bro, get me up in the SEO. Get it up. Get it up there. Do we have anything else here? I missed one from my brother a while ago. T-Bone, grocery pickup is a top 5 invention of the 2020s, but hold on a second. You're onto something with the randomizer button. We all loved the random soda button at the soda machine. Why not add a little mystery into the grocery experience? I need $20 of fruits and veggies. Surprise me. I need $30 of various meats. Surprise me. Call Kroger. I think you're onto something. Okay, T-Bone, I don't know that I thought of that. I think you did. My brother, Travis. I love him. Travis, why don't we play D&D anymore? Come on, dude. Get online and play D&D with me, Trav. Come on, dude. I would love it. Bring your guy back in. I'm getting better at running games. I think this is a great idea. An awesome idea. $20. I need $20 of fruits, and then you just get what you get. Don't throw a fit. So I'm wired that way to think that's brilliant, right? I just think it's brilliant. I got $14. I need $14 of breakfast items. Whatever it is, just throw it in the cart and let's make it happen. Doesn't really work with the family, but it does also because I would have so much fun with it. So much fun with it. There's so many comments over on Sean'sLife.com that I missed over the last few weeks because I didn't think it was working. Roberta said this a while ago over there. Other kid-friendly, kid-approved lunches. I need these kids' lunches. By the way, we're going to be just barely over 15 minutes today. Other kid-friendly, kids-approved lunches, small thermos of chicken noodle soup or our favorite bean and bacon, chili and crackers with add-ons, pickle cubes, shredded cheese, etc. It makes for a good mix and match lunch. Then there's always veggie meat, cheese tray with ranch dip, kid manna from heaven. I don't know. We haven't been there for a while. My kids didn't like lunch meat. The couple times we tried it with them like a year ago. So maybe I need to revisit it because that would be great. A veggie, meat, and cheese tray sounds awesome. Have I told the story about Travis and I? Speaking of my brother that I love dearly, he and his wife, they welcomed a new child into the world. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, Trav. Sorry. If I'm not allowed to say, hey, Montgomery, what's good, then I apologize. But I'm excited to meet him eventually. Travis and I both, our wives must have seen him at the same time. and they're kind of thermoses for kids' lunch boxes. And what they're supposed to do is keep kids' food warm. So, for instance, you could make chicken nuggets in the morning, put them in this thermos. You like heat it, or it's like you heat it, or you put like hot water in it, and it goes in the outside of. I don't know how it works. Anyways, it's supposed to keep the food warm. And Travis and I both have done the same thing. We have not used it because we're like, well, if it doesn't work and our kids have cold nuggets at lunch, they won't eat them, and that's such a waste. And that'll be frustrating. They'll be hungry. And we're like, so we just don't do it. And then we always say to each other, well, we're adults. We could try it. We're grown-ups. I don't need a reason to make myself chicken nuggets to do the science experiment. At 5 o'clock, when I make chicken nuggets for the family, why don't I just throw a couple into the thermos, and 4 hours, 5 hours later, I'll check to see if they're still warm. This seems like an easy thing to try. I'm already making the nuggets. You know what? I've never done it. We got this at the beginning of the school year. Never done it. I could do it right now. Now it's 9:46. I'd have to set an alarm and wake up in the middle of the night to check them. But I haven't done it. And I should, because my daughter, if I sent her with chicken nuggets to school for lunch, she would lose her mind. Lose her mind. All right, Miguel says this. No, I read that one before. Miguel and Max reporting for duty. I did read that one, so take that. Was there other one I didn't read? Ian. There we go. Spokane Ian. You're not alone. I don't know what the context is. You're not alone. My kid's school does that. But to be fair, their school has a ton of special needs. So this is one of those moments where you have to try to guess what I was talking about for this comment. Sorry, Ian, because I got to it so late. That's my bad. You're not alone. My kid's school does that. But to be fair, their school has a ton of special needs, so it helps keep attention. What gets me is their Valentine's Day party is on Friday the 13th. They usually have pizza, and the PTO decides to have a fundraiser at Chuck E. Cheese. Like, bruh, did you guys even look at the calendar? Gonna comment here for a minute because Spotify is spazzing. I love when you comment here, Ian. I skip the comments for a couple days, but when I get to them, it makes me really happy. So thank you. My daughter has a Valentine's Day party this week. It's like right in the middle of the day. I think it's during my lunch, so I might be able to go to it for a second. We shall see. And I would love to, but it's in the middle of the day, and I have a job. So we will see. If it's right during my lunch, I can do it. Because my daughter's school is close enough that I can go on my lunch break, take that hour and go hang out and then go back to work. And that's fine. But if it's like at 10:30 when she was in preschool, before the school she's in now, the things were like at 11 o'clock. And it's like, oh my gosh, 11 o'clock on a Thursday? And then the best part was those days. This is a brilliant move by the preschool that I love because the teachers there are rad. Shout out to Miss Kayla, Miss Liz, Miss Isabella, and more. Like, they're rad. My Huck goes there. I feel like he's in great hands every time he goes there. I love him. But you do this, and it does drive me crazy. You're not off the hook for everything. Your greatness isn't going to get you off the hook for this. The kids are normally there till 1 or 2 o'clock, I think is what it is. I pay a lot of attention. They would do these special days where it's like, hey, we're going to do a parade at 11 o'clock. It's Valentine's Day parade. St. Patrick's Day parade. A Wednesday parade. Right? So they do these parades at 11, and then when the parade was done at 11:40, they're like, you guys are here, just take your kids. What? Okay, I haven't been in school for a while, but I'm not dumb. I mean, I am dumb. I guess I am dumb. So yeah, touche. I guess I am dumb. All right, thanks for checking out the podcast. I appreciate it. Your favorite 15-minute podcast. We are about 2-3 minutes over today. But that was because I had to spend 10 minutes whining about Candyland. All right, see ya.